we are having our 11th annual National Women and Girls HIV/AIDS Awareness Day. March 10th is a day that is observed to really highlight the impact of HIV on women and girls in communities across the U.S. We have Dr. Ojikotu is actually an HIV doc. She does work with women, treats patients, and does work internationally in Africa as well.
So what we know is that in order to have lifelong HIV infection, in order for somebody to come in and test positive, you actually have to wait a few days after exposure. So true lifelong HIV infection actually takes a series of steps. It doesn't happen immediately, right away when you have sex or when you use injection drugs and are exposed. And that actually happens over the course of days. It doesn't happen right away. That's actually a good thing, because the fact that it happens over a course of days means that we can stop it with medication before it happens.
We're also educating about safer sex, and in particular the FC2 female condom. Want people to be aware of that as well.
I'm going to give some information. So the internal condom, I call it internal because it can be used for all genders and it can be used for all different sexual acts. So the internal condom, it's a device that's made out of something called nitrile. And the reason why I say nitrile, who cares, why is it nitrile? Some people are allergic to latex and they have really bad skin allergies or latex allergies. So if you or your partner have an allergy to latex, you can use an internal condom because you won't have an allergic reaction.
Well, sex and sexuality is across the lifespan, and those are things that we need to talk about. And when we can talk about those things and bring some of our experiences out of isolation, that's where healing begins.
So someone asked me recently, if I ever wished that I did not have HIV, and if I could change that one thing, would I? All the things that I could change, would that be the thing that I choose? So I thought back over my life and I pondered that. Well, I know one thing I wouldn't change, and that is the many hours my family took pleasure in playing a card game called Bid Whist. Now, Bid Whist was my first real life coach, my first teacher. I was 13 years old when that idyllic, urban, little family scene was blown apart. I was 13 when the sexual abuse that had gone on for years was discovered. So Bid Whist was my first teacher, and years later, HIV, my greatest opponent. A year after my diagnosis, I would meet a woman named Donna Friedman, and she became my employer, a mentor, a good listener, advisor, and friend. I and many other women are living with HIV today, and we are the fastest growing segment after white and black MSM. Our women need us. They need our love. They need our mentoring and coaching, yes, for sure. But they also need to be able to talk about and have a clear and comprehensive information and knowledge about many things. They need to know everything about HIV. Its history, its source, data, statistics. They need to know about prevention and transmission, the same with other STIs. They need to know about men on the down low, about the system of incarceration and what it's doing to our men and how that's fueling the epidemic. They need to know the statistics, the risk factors. They need to know about MSM. They need to know not stereotypes of men, not what I call misogyny. They need to know about sexual exploration, gender identity, homosexuality, heterosexuality, sexual exploitation, sex trafficking, prostitution, why women get co-opted, the damage it does to them, the damage it does to their families, and the damage done to other people's families. They need to know they can come to you and get answers or resources that you're willing to discuss with them and help them understand, no holds barred. They need to know about menstruation, contraception, condoms, sexual abuse, sexual attacks, and defense training. How to form healthy friendships. How to not see other women as the enemy. How not to be the enemy themselves. They need to know how they're being educated about their sexuality by images which objectify them. Our girls need to understand how to handle, how to use what the good Lord gave them, but also how to be in control of it. How to handle that womanly weapon and to protect it with a fierceness. Not to be told just to cover it up and tell me I got what I deserved, but to teach me what the difference is between love and sex, respect versus gratification. They need to know about their bodies, how it works, to understand sexual pleasure, self-pleasure, and how to handle all of it, to understand their female power and how to wield it, how to shield it, and when to yield it. So here's how I hear that question today. If I could, would I, knowing what I do now, be so selfish as to only want to save myself? Looked at that way, the answer is clear for me. No. I want to be a woman that girls can look up to.
So this is an event that we do every year in celebration, in education, that we can be sure that no more women get HIV.